Hello and welcome to Entirely English. We are continuing with our naval themed idioms, and today we are on the letter F. This is just a sampling of some of the idioms. As with all of the other recordings, there are more. I just want to give you a taste of how the British Navy influenced our language. And today we're going to start with feeling blue. You're probably very familiar with the phrase blue. The Americans have blues music. People often feel blue when they feel down. The origins of this idiom are kind of lost in time, but Wikipedia did have an entry which they took from a naval website which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. So people argue about whether it's true or not. So back in the heydays of the British Navy in the Elizabethan, Jacobean and Henry VIII's time, if a ship lost its captain or any of the officers during a voyage, possibly in a battle, or maybe through other means like a storm, when they were coming into port they would fly a blue flag and paint a blue stripe along the side of the hull to let the authorities know they were coming in with senior officers, dead or lost. So the phrase feeling blue refers to sadness. When you are feeling blue, you're feeling depressed, feeling a bit down. Okay, so I'm going to change the mood a little bit because that's a bit of a depressing start. Let's go for Footloose. You may even know the film Footloose with Kevin Bacon, very popular 80s film. Now the bottom part of a sail was called its foot, and if the foot was loose it was flapping about. If it wasn't secured it would dance, basically. It'd dance in the wind, it needed to be secured. Maybe somebody hadn't used their ropes properly. So when somebody is footloose, they are without control. They are free to do what they want, like the sail in a wind without ropes holding it down. So you say he is footloose. He doesn't have a job, he doesn't have any money worries, he can do anything he wants. First rate is our next one. Now, from the 16th century until steamships took over, the Royal Navy ships were rated. They were rated according to the number of heavy cannons they carried. A ship of 100 or more cannons was a first-rate ship. A ship that had 90 to 98 cannons was second-rate, and 64 to 89 third-rate. Fourth-rate was 50 to 60 guns, and frigates carried 20 to 48 guns. They were the fifth and sixth rated ships. So first-rate were considered the best, the most powerful, the most highly equipped. So when we say something is first-rate, it is the best. It is a first-rate meal. It is the best meal. Very good, no comparison. We had a first-rate holiday. It was excellent. Nothing could be better. Right. Now, far-fetched. This is an interesting one. Apparently, when the British Navy were exploring, for example, when they went to the Americas, they would bring back strange items, like the potato. So they were fetched from afar. And often the sailors would come back with strange tales, stories of wonderful creatures or terrible monsters, and the stories were considered far-fetched. They brought them from afar, but we don't believe them. So when somebody tells you something that you think is far-fetched, you don't believe it. It's fantasy. And the last one I'm going to do for today is a far cry. Now, as a ship left port or the docks, or even sailed away from another ship, the people on the ship could still call to the people on the docks or on their partner ship. They could shout across the distance. Things like, Don't forget there's supposed to be a storm coming. Aye, we're ready for it, don't you worry. They call back, they cry out to each other. And at some point they would be too far to hear what the others were saying. So then they were a far cry from those other sailors or the dockmaster, etc. So we use the idiom a far cry to mean that something is very different from something else. It's very far from it. So we say a holiday in London is a far cry from a holiday. No, let's not do that one. We say, what the politician said was a far cry from what he actually did. Very different things, miles apart. Okay. Sorry, I just didn't think of any city that compared to London that would sound not insulting. So, okay, that's all we're going to do for today. And I hope you found these interesting. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And I will see you again soon, I hope. Bye bye for now.